What's going on, people? It's your man, Mr. Controversy here, representing the three-point conversion. Did you miss me? And yes, this is my NFL diary. It's a lot to talk about, everyone. A lot to talk about. We were in week 6 of the NFL. Very interesting week, like always. But I'm not going to go into, first of all, I apologize for missing last week. I had lost my voice, so couldn't talk. I'm still trying to gain it back. But last week, we talked about, I talked about as far as, teams that I thought needed to make a big win. And certain teams like the Chicago Bears, even though they're playing Detroit Lions, maybe the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Cincinnati Bengals. So even I say the Miami Dolphins because of the new coach. So I want to start off by talking about how we have a lot of impressive wins. We had some, well, I ain't going to say a lot, but we have had some big wins, a few impressive wins, but I want to touch on 3. So to talk about 3 wins that we saw this week, and it was very impressive, I have to start off with the Carolina Panthers. Yes, Mr. Controversy, I was wrong. I went against the Panthers. But I wasn't wrong about Cam Newton. I've been giving Cam Newton praise. I've said it on my NFL diaries. I've said it on the Three-Point Conversion Sports Lounge. I believe Cam Newton, like I said he was an MVP candidate. I mean, I know it's 6 weeks, but still, he's a candidate. He'd be a candidate for the MVP, big time, because of what he's doing and what he has. And the funny thing is, if you look at last week or this past week, to me, that was his worst game, but his best game. How in the world can that be his worst and best game that you might say? Let me tell you why. It was his worst game when you look at stats. Yes, he threw for 269 yards. I think he was 20 for 36. Not 1 interception, but 2 interceptions. But it was the way he battled back, the way he put his team on his back, and all of that. Yeah, I feel like rhyming today. But the way he came back, because Seattle, you thought Seattle had that game, unless you were a Panthers fan. For the most part, Cam Chancellor, he was hitting like normal. You had the DNs flying to the quarterback. I think Cam got sacked a few times or got pressured. It was just they were dominating the defense. They dominated the first 3 quarters. But sure enough, the 4th quarter, here it comes, their woes. But like I said, I'm not just going to blame it all on Seattle's defense. You have to give Carolina some credit. Again, Jonathan Stewart, which I went off on and talked about him on the Three-Point Conversion Sports Lounge, which you could check out on the Three-Point Conversion station. And I talked about how Jonathan Stewart will basically probably get hurt like he usually does, but no, he didn't. He ran tough, as a matter of fact. He ran over 100 yards. That was the best I've seen him run, probably in his career. Even though he had bigger games, but I hadn't seen him run that tough in a long time, if not ever. So, excuse me, big win to the Carolina Panthers. We have to give them props. Now, also, I have to give props to, I think about when the Pittsburgh Steelers, Ben Roethlisberger got hurt, everybody thought that was a wrap. But wait, they have Mike Vick. So you was like, okay, they have Mike Vick. But the way he played that Sunday, the following Sunday, and the following Sunday, you thought, okay, they don't look good. What is he going to do? But he came up with I ain't even going to say him. The Steelers came up with 3 impressive wins. Well, this particular win this Sunday was bigger than last week. Why? Because you have the Arizona Cardinals. Yeah, they came to Pittsburgh, but we're talking about the hot Arizona Cardinals. We're talking about Larry Fitzgerald, who's been drinking in that fountain of youth. Carson Palmer, who's been drinking some too. And definitely Chris Johnson. I mean, he's been hogging it. So you look at those 3 players coming in and you say, okay, Pittsburgh going against Vic, Antonio Brown is not getting the ball. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. Now, look, Vic did play horrible. We know that. And we can say bye-bye, Vic, which I'll get into later on in the show. But they bring in this young kid named Landry Jones, who he might have been nervous, and I think he said he was nervous, or he couldn't believe that he was in an NFL game. But you can look into this kid's eyes and tell that he was ready. You know, he relished the moment. He was like, look, this is my moment. I'm not giving this up. And sure enough, he led that team to a victory. But much props to the defense, which I said earlier that this defense will get better. They have a young group, a young crew, but you can tell that because they got a lot of talent. It was just getting used to playing under the scheme with these players, getting used to players' positioning. But now they're putting it all together. And you look at the last 2 games, they played great. Even the game against St. Louis, they played great. And last week, they played outstanding. So, big win for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Another big win, this is my last impressive win, you have to give this award to the Miami Dolphins. TJ, Big TJ, I know you listen. Shout outs to Big TJ. Check his show out, the Sports and Nonsense, every Tuesday in the morning. He puts it out between 10 to 12. It doesn't matter. You're going to get it and listen to a great show anyway. But Big TJ, I heard your show this morning. Check it out. It was a great show. I heard your show this morning. And you did mention about what's the big whoop-de-doo about the Miami Dolphins getting a win. They played the Tennessee Titans. Well, TJ, let me explain to you, man. In the world I want you to listen to. The reason why I was big, because it had nothing to do with Dan Campbell. Because that joker was nervous. We saw how you call a timeout. you driving down the field. You're down by it's going into the halftime. Going into halftime, and you're driving down the field. You have 40 seconds left. And the first play, you get a first down to maybe the 38, 40-yard line. 40 seconds left. And you call your last time out? Really? And he said he was nervous. But it wasn't just about him. Now, he brought a lot of excitement as far as, he was chest bumping and jumping up. You don't get that out of I can't even think of the coach's name that was there. Anyway, you didn't get that out of him. But because he's not there, now you get over 20 rushes for Lamar Miller. He had a great game. Tannehill still played like garbage, but the defense played better. Cameron Wake all of a sudden gets 4 sacks because the defensive coordinator got fired also. So sometimes it's about letting coaches go. I'm not a big fan of letting coaches go during the season, but this needed to happen. So it was a big win for the Miami Dolphins. Like I said, it's a different culture now. They couldn't even put up 38 points against the Redskins, which has a pretty good defense, but still. Kudos to Miami Dolphins. Congrats to Dan Campbell for that big win. And those are my 3 teams with the big, impressive wins. Also, all I got to say is watch out for the New York Jets. You might want to watch out. But anyway, let's get back. So I also want to talk about this situation um, which is bothering me about the NFL. Right now, if the NFL, if you count, because we're not talking about teams, but just the NFL itself. If we say the NFL was on a losing streak, they would have lost. So I can put it into that type of format and compare it to games, losing streaks. NFL would be right now, they would be on a 28 game losing streak. Excuse me. That's how bad they've looked with everything that's going on. Now you throw this situation. So I understand. Well, let me tell you the situation. So Cameron Hayward, most of you all heard, Cameron Hayward gets fined $11,000 for showing tribute to his late father, Craig Iron Hayward. You know who Craig Iron Hayward is. Fullback, played for New Orleans Saints, Chicago Bears, the Atlanta Falcons, and most notably the commercial, "But Ironhead, what's with this thingy?" So you remember Craig Iron Hayward. So his son, Cameron Hayward, wanted to show tribute to his father and pay tribute to his father by having the black mark on his eyes, have Craig Iron Hayward put his father's name on there. Now, yes, it's a rule. You can't do that. I get that. That part, fine. You get fined $11,000 because that's the rule. Like D'Angelo Williams, which is dumb to me, but he can't wear pink in his hair. So that's what it is, but that's the rule. Doesn't make sense, but that's the rule. Okay. But when you think about a certain player, which we all fell in love with his daughter, and we were rooting for him and his daughter and his whole family, Mr. Devin Stills, he come in, and when his daughter was going through their situation, he has the Leah Strong on his black mark on his eyes. He didn't get fined. He even came on and said, "No, I didn't get fined for it." So he didn't get fined. And yes, that's a heartfelt situation. I get that. I do. Because like I said, I was with him. I rooted for her and was rooting for him and still rooting for them. Hopefully he gets signed to another team, but and play. But he didn't get fined. Now, did the league benefit from that? Heck yeah, they benefited from that. Of course. Is the league benefiting from Cameron Hayward, his tribute? Nah. So what happens? You get fined, bruh. That's how it is. But again, the NFL continues to mess up. If I wasn't a football fan, I would have been ditched the NFL, but I love football. It's the greatest sport ever. So the NFL, you're wrong again. You keep getting it wrong. So maybe it's time for a new commissioner. Yes, that was in the rule book. I understand that, but sometimes it's time for a change. I mean, ask the Miami Dolphins. So also, I gave little tribute to the Detroit Lions. Big up for them winning their first game against my Chicago Bears. Yeah, it sucks. But I have to be true to the game, so I'm giving props to the Detroit Lions. But here's my issue with that game. The referees, can we please bring back the replacement? Because they're making the replacement referees look good. I'm tired of the referees deciding the game. Stop deciding the game. When did this happen? When all of a sudden we decide to say, "Hey, referees, you control the game, control the outcome"? When? I'm tired of it. I don't get it. It doesn't make sense. Yes, I'll bring up the play. I'm talking about the play where, well, it's two plays, but I'm going to bring up the most infamous play of that game was the before halftime when Golden Tate got stripped, caught The ball looked like he caught the ball, didn't make a football move. Kyle Fuller stripped the ball. The ball goes up in the air. And what happens? Boom. It's an interception. End of halftime, big play, because they were at the goal line about to score, Detroit Lions. They ruled the interception. Go back to the replay booth. Mike Pereira, they talked to him. He said, oh, for sure. I don't see how that can be changed. It's an interception. He didn't make a football move. The ball got stripped before he really gained possession. Mike Pereira said this now. What happens? The call on the field has been changed. It is a touchdown. Man, I almost broke my TV. But then later in the game, with 30-something seconds left, it was 3rd-and-8. Stafford at the, 11-yard line, 15-yard line, something like that. I think it's 15-yard line. 3rd-and-8, incomplete. So now it's going to be, 3rd and goal, I'm sorry. So now it's going to be 4th and goal with 30-something seconds left. And you call roughing the passer when he clearly tried to get out the way. Yes, his arm was out, but he didn't hit the quarterback. He tried to get out the way. He didn't try to hit him. You can tell by his reaction when they threw the flag. Again, stop deciding the games. The San Diego fiasco. Yes, messed it up. The Detroit Lions, Seattle Seahawks game. You messed it up. Come on. Stop it. If this is the case, bring back the replacement referees. You're making them look good. The only reason why I give them the benefit of the doubt is because they were replacement. They didn't know what was going on. Most of the stuff, they were just like huddling together like, dang, should we call this? Is that right? But you all are supposed to be the experts, the professionals. And you're messing up. Tired of it, man. Come on. Let's get it together. And let me talk about the quarterbacks. It's been some great quarterback play. But some quarterbacks have came back to earth to join us. And who am I talking about? I am talking about quarterbacks such as Peyton Manning. Hey, how's it going? We haven't seen you in a while. Aaron Rodgers. Man, I thought you would never come back to visit. Andrew Luck. Andrew, I forgot how wide and big your beard is. And Michael Vick, he been on earth, but the way he played, like he was trying to go to hell. Sorry about that, y'all. I don't think that. But, hey, I'm just saying, that's how bad Vick played the last 2 weeks. So, Peyton, let me get on Peyton. Yes, we know how bad Peyton was playing. And true enough, his what was I gonna say? His defense been keeping him in, but defense can't hold you any longer, bro. You know, you looking horrible, sir. Very horrible. And I'm gonna be real. There might be time to hang it up, like at midseason. But the only good thing is because your defense is playing that well, this probably will be the year that you might win it just because of your defense. Now, Aaron Rodgers. You say, Mr. Controversy, you bugging. No, people, let's be real. Mr. Aaron Rodgers has had 2 interceptions in the last game, in the game before last, and he fumbled, got stripped. When have we seen that? I don't even think that's ever happened. Well, if it has, probably in the last 4 years. Okay. Last week against San Diego, he kept missing throws. He missed throw after throw after throw. That's not like Aaron Rodgers. But glad to have you back, though. I'm definitely glad to have you back. You keep winning, though, so it doesn't matter. That's you're being protected by the wins, but your play has been kind of garbage. Like what? Garbage to your standards. I mean, to anybody else standards, you had the best game of your life, but to Aaron Rodgers standards, you haven't been playing well, bruh. Welcome back to Earth. Andrew Luck, he played well Sunday night, but all year, yeah, I had to hit the Silk Shaka on him. Y'all remember the Silk Shaka song? But you've been playing average, and you're not an average quarterback. You're supposed to be elite. Now, Andrew, I'm a big fan, and even though I told you, well, not you, but I told Glass, and I told America, it's on camera, I said Andrew Luck is not ahead of Russell Wilson. Big TJ calls Russell Wilson a game manager. Most people do. Glass, a lot of people call him that. Say that Andrew Luck is far better than Russell Wilson. Who has the better stats? Okay. I'm just saying, people. But Andrew Luck, come on back, man. We welcome you back. Get a haircut. Get your beard cut while you're here. You know, I know you was out of space, playing out your mind, so you couldn't get a haircut. No barbers there. But since you're back on Earth, come on, cut your beard down. And Michael Vick, it was nice knowing you. I just posted a commercial, the Vic Experience. I don't know if y'all remember that commercial, but if you go on Facebook, well, my Facebook page is not to the public. But anyway, I remember that commercial where he was the face of the NFL, had it all, Mr. Excitement. Not anymore. It's like, what happened to that Vic that came back from out of prison with the Philadelphia Eagles that first year when he took over? And he had the season of his life. Don't know. But Vic, it was nice. I do have tapes. I will watch them. And we still have NFL Network, so they will show you games, especially when you retire. But it's a wrap for you. Anytime you're holding Antonio Brown down, there's something wrong. Just throw him the ball. Just get it to him. Yes, I know he's short and he's fast, but just get it to him. It's Antonio Brown, the best receiver in the game. Well, he used to be. But anyway, I digress. So, like I said, it was a nice week 6. A lot of interesting wins. A lot of exciting plays. That flip by Marvin Jones, that was sick. The New Orleans win, that was big. Like I said, it was a lot of big games, a lot of exciting plays. But again, the NFL gets it wrong. To me, that's the headliner. They get it wrong again. They get it wrong. They're always getting it wrong. I don't know why they keep getting it wrong. It's easy. But because of your greed with the money, it makes you look bad. It makes you look bad, NFL. Mr. Goodell, the owners. I'm talking as a fan. I'm not judging you, but I'm saying as a fan. You want my revenue, right? You want my dollars, don't you? Do the right thing. That's all I'm saying. Do the right thing. Time after time again. I was never a fan of Goodell, but I'll be a fan if he let me into some games to cover some games. I'd be a big fan, Goodell. But anyway, that's going to wrap up the NFL, or my NFL diary. Once again, this is Mr. Controversy, and Mr. Controversy's NFL diary is on, what you're listening to, the 3-Point Conversion station on Spreaker Radio. Make sure you download the app and follow the 3-Point Conversion station. Great shows, Sports and Nonsense, Big TJ, the 3-Point Conversion Sports Lounge by yours truly and Mr. Glass, the Sage of Sports, on Saturday mornings, or now Saturdays afternoons, and the new podcast, which is Talking Bears Outside the Locker Room with yours truly and Mr. Quasey, the Crazy Wabbit, which I call CW. What's going on, baby? I see you. There will be some new additions coming up soon, and we'll get into that later. But anyway, make sure you follow me on Twitter at Mr. Controversy 21. Also follow the 3-Point Conversion. Also go to the 3-Point Conversion website, which is the 3pointconversion.com. Our slogan, where fans' opinions matter. That's all it's about. Where fans' opinions matter. That's all it's about. It's about the fans. And that's what we're about. So great articles, great stuff. Also, if you're watching the YouTube channel, make sure you subscribe, leave a comment. Comment on this. You know, if you see this on Twitter, comment on it, if you will. Tell me what you think. I want to hear what you think, and I'll address that next week. But once again, same time, same place, same person. I'm out. Will you miss me?